Our main event of the evening for the undisputed UFC Heavyweight Championship as Brock Lesnar takes on Frank Mir. Earlier, the arrival of the UFC Heavyweight Champion, Brock Lesnar, the former WWE superstar and by far the most powerful fighter to ever enter the octagon, puts his title on the line later tonight. Also arriving earlier tonight, the former heavyweight champion and present interim heavyweight champion, Frank Mir, who has told us that he's never been in a better place both mentally and physically. And he expects to defeat Brock Lesnar for a second time tonight to once again become the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion. It is time for the coaches to collide as Dan Henderson faces off against Michael Bisping.
Henderson's been around for a long time and has beat some of the best fighters in the world.
You're talking about one of the most successful mixed martial artists ever.
I'm a different fighter than anybody Bisping's fought. It's going to be fun to beat him up.
Michael Bisping is an ever-improving, dynamic, exciting fighter.
Bisping is better than people give him credit for.
If he takes me lightly, that'll be his biggest mistake.
I'm going to finish him.
Henderson throwing wild bombs. Big uppercut. A big shot right there. Henderson! Down he goes! Michael the Count Bisping. It's Michael Bisping. It is all over.
Finish the fight!
These guys coached season 9 of The Ultimate Fighter, and they started to get on each other's nerves.
You can't do that, Dan, and we now have a routine. Let's stick to the routine.
It wasn't my way.
Well, what do you want me to do? Bend over and take it up the ass?
One of the things that Michael Bisping likes to do, he likes to talk a lot of trash.
England won, USA none. Put that in your practice market.
I definitely started to get to him as the show progressed.
Bisping just was just a little bitch. When things don't go his way, he just throws a hissy fit. I've got little kids, and I see the same thing out of them.
That's why I was trying to push his buttons, trying to get him to snap a little bit. I thrive off that.
I'll have my chance to shut his mouth with my fist.
If I go out there and fight the way I know I can fight, it's a walk in the park.
Become one of the most exciting and one of the most popular fighters in the UFC. On Team Ortiz for the Ultimate Fighter Season 3, he did win the competition. He was voted the 2008 coolest man in the UK. 18-1 overall, 8-1 in his mixed martial arts career, unbeaten as a UFC middleweight. Michael the Count Bisping.
He's really come into his own, Mike, especially since the drop down to middleweight, which I think is the ideal weight class for him. He was just a little bit too small for some of those guys at light heavy, and at middleweight, this is perfect. This is a big step up for him in competition, though. For sure, Dan Henderson is the toughest, most dangerous guy he's faced at middleweight.
Loves to throw the hands and let them go quickly. Fighting out of the Wolfslayer Academy. Born and raised in Manchester, England. Built a friendship with Rampage. That's why Quentin Rampage Jackson trains in the UK now. Czech Congo. Michael the Count Bisping coming off nearly an 8-month layoff, the longest of his UFC career, because he was coaching against Henderson in the Ultimate Fighter, realizes that if he can knock off the former multiple Pride champion and 2-time Olympian, he may be staring right at Anderson Silva in a shot at the UFC middleweight title.
I think you're absolutely right, Mike. If he can win this fight in spectacular fashion, he's definitely the first guy in line for a shot.
He has embraced the bad boy role as he's set for the biggest challenge of his fighting life.
I mean, he's not just talented, he's such a character as a human. I mean, it's funny that they need subtitles to hear him talk, but you really do. You have to read what he's saying to try to understand him. When I do interviews with him, I miss like every third or fourth word. I mean, he's like right out of a Guy Ritchie movie.
Former postman in Clitheroe in the UK and the 12th biggest sports personality voted on by the BBC. Dude's a warrior. He defines mixed martial artists. Dan Henderson defines fighter, two-time Olympian, an inductee into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame, multiple Pride champion, 2 belts simultaneously. And you just look at the granite chin of Dan Henderson, and you know that he never has and he never will be an easy man to fight against.
He's fought so many tough guys. Anderson Silva, Rich Franklin, Husamar Palhares, Quentin Jackson. He beat Carlos Newton to win the middleweight tournament way back at UFC 17. I mean, Dan Henderson is as tough as they come. Olympic wrestler. Iron chin, knockout power, has a knockout victory over Vanderlei Silva. I mean, what more could you ask for from a guy?
24-7 in his mixed martial arts career. He has perhaps the best resume in the sport, Joe, when it comes to fighting world-class competition. And he badly wants a rematch with Anderson Silva because he said that his cut to 185 against Silva was not a very good one. So he feels he can beat the middleweight champion, but to get that potential shot at a rematch, he must first get through the Brit.
But physically, he looks phenomenal. He looks in excellent shape. And this is about as confident as we've seen him coming into a big fight, Mike. It's very cool and collected.
Bisping and Henderson. Our tale of the tape for this middleweight fight. The American, 8 years the elder of the Brit. Bisping will have a slight reach advantage. With the official introductions, once again, the veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
And now, 3 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a Valley Judo fighter holding a professional record of 18 wins with 1 loss. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 186 pounds. Fighting out of Manchester, England, he is the Ultimate Fighter season winner, Michael the Count Bisping. And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, holding a professional record of 24 wins with 7 losses. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Temecula, California, he is the former 2-time champion of Pride, Dan Henderson. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon is Mario Yamasaki.
Mario Yamasaki, our referee. Bisping and Henderson will finally do battle. Sold out.
There you go. First one, you ready?
The chance of USA.
Let's go, come on.
Hendo in the white trunks. Bisping in the white and black trunks.
One of the things that's really shown, that we've really seen an improvement on in Michael Bisping over the last few years is his footwork and his boxing. And I expect him to use a lot of that, a lot of footwork to avoid the big power right hand of Dan Henderson.
Bisping never been finished or knocked out. Henderson never been finished or knocked out. Never been TKO'd or KO'd in his mixed martial arts career. Henderson trying to hunt down his opponent. There's that big right hand. Swing and a miss. Man, Henderson's looking to load up.
And that's what he does. He's got vicious power in that right hand. And his left as well. He knocked out Vanderlei with a left hook.
Bisping's strategy, Joe, is to stick and move. Stay away from a potential clinch game with the Greco-Roman Olympian. And utilize what might be a speed advantage.
But we saw him employ the same sort of stick and move strategy and get a victory over Chris Lieben. But Chris Lieben is not Dan Henderson.
Oh, he's rocked him early. Henderson looking to hunt him down. Henderson teeing off on Bisping.
Bisping may be hurt, Mike. He landed a couple of good shots there, though.
Hendo again with the right hand to the body. And
nice elbow.
Man, Henderson looks good.
He looks very solid, Mike. You know, this might have been the motivation that Dan Henderson needed to train really hard. Physically, like I said, this is the best he's looked in a long time. He might have needed a guy that he really disliked.
Coming off the Ultimate Fighter, Team United States against Team United Kingdom. And it's no secret that the Brits ended up dominating that competition. That angered the prideful American as well. But the thing is Henderson won't say anything, Joe. He'll just fight. And fight as well as anybody in the history of the game.
Yeah, he's not one for trash talk. I mean, the most trash talking he did was call Bisping a douchebag.
Which was a pretty good line. Versatile word.
Good right hand by Bisping, though.
Bisping lacks no confidence and has a ton of skills, and he may very well know, Joe, that he just needs to weather an early storm and the big right hand to Henderson. Bisping's starting to loosen up a little bit here. And as you said, Joe, he's got tremendous footwork. Has improved that drastically since the Ultimate Fighter competition.
He's also very good at sticking to the game plan. He doesn't get sucked into any unwarranted exchanges or falling in anybody else's game. When he fought Chris Lieben, he did exactly that. Just stuck and moved, stayed on the outside.
Henderson would like a slugfest. Bisping would like a technical battle. Neither man thinking about taking this to the ground yet. Bisping misses with the uppercut. Bisping really circling. Now he's circling the other way. Joe, for a while he was circling right into that right hand and the power of Henderson. Bisping's got to be careful he doesn't walk right into it.
Good kick and a punch afterwards by Bisping. Henderson just looking to load up on that right hand. The problem with that, Mike, is that Bisping sees it a mile away.
Yeah. Bisping does a great job of tucking the head and keeping not just the hands, but the arms up over the top.
Good right hand by Bisping, partially blocked by Henderson, but now Henderson mauling him up against the cage. The Greco-Roman wrestling skills coming into play for Dan Henderson, landing some good knees to the body.
He's great at controlling his opponents in this position.
He's great at ragdolling people, too.
Yamasaki warning Bisping about grabbing the shorts of Henderson. Michael Bisping 3-0 as a middleweight.
Bisping gets free, but he got free with a message, and that message was in the clinch, Dan Henderson is going to dominate. Dan Henderson actually smiled at him like, are you kidding me? You going to take me down?
Bisping's ancestors fought in battles in Poland, Germany, Austria. His grandfather at age 15 defended his home against the Germans. Thus the nickname The Count.
Good right hand at the end of the round for Dan Henderson. And Michael Bisping very tired. You see him with his hands on his knees like that? That's uncharacteristic.
Walking right onto the backhand, mate. Get off his backhand, he's absolutely pathetic.
Calm down. Moving to the right. Move to the right, Mike. Okay, listen.
Okay, listen up, listen up. Suck up, son. Mike, listen to me, son. This has all been stand up most of all. Move off his backhand. Make him miss, make him pay. Michael, double a jab, step across, Mike.
Close round, close round. He edges it out. Yep.
It was a good round. Jab, step across.
It slowed the right hand down, add the left hook to that.
Hold this. Hold it up.
Joe, in the corner,
Get to work.
Michael Bisping,
Great round, Dan, you're up.
his trainers are angry, and they said exactly what I kind of mentioned to you, is that he's walking right into the right hand and the power of Dan Henderson.
Yeah, his trainer is absolutely furious at him. That guy's right out of a Guy Ritchie movie, too. I want to drink with those
All
dudes.
kinds of Guy Ritchies. Rampage in the corner of Bisping.
All right, second round, you ready? Are you ready? Let's go, come on.
Second round.
Bisping with that light front leg, looking for kicks. He's taking on more of the Muay Thai stance in this round.
Inside leg kick. Bisping is the poster boy for the UFC in the UK. Dan Hardy starting to follow behind, but Bisping came over, won the Ultimate Fighter, Joe, and kind of started to set the way for the UK fighters to have success.
And so many have now. It's, really interesting seeing all these great new talented fighters come from over there. And this past season of the Ultimate Fighter really showed that. A clean sweep by the UK.
And we've had
Henderson lands a big right hand, Mike, and a left hook behind it.
Man, Henderson is just stalking Michael Bisping.
Very confident, Dan Henderson.
Patient, picking his shots for that heavy hand. 3:35 remains in round two. Uppercut. Hall of Famers in attendance here tonight. Royce Gracie, the star of UFC 1.
Good jab by Henderson here.
Here at UFC 100. Chuck Liddell, inducted into the Hall of Fame yesterday.
One thing that's you don't see a lot of from Dan Henderson, Mike, is feints. He kind of wades in and looks for openings and throws big bombs, but he doesn't fake a lot.
Missed with the right hand, Joe, got a little off balance there and almost got hit. Just about at the midway point of this non-title fight. Man, he's looking to load up, Joe. You can just tell when that left shoulder comes up, the right hand is soon to follow. And his opponents know it, but a lot of times they can't do anything about it. Bisping in and out a lot more effectively here in round two.
Much better second round for Michael Bisping. And this is what Dan Henderson's got to be careful of, that Bisping doesn't outpoint him. Henderson charging after him now. Bisping again is circling Mike towards his left, which is Dan Henderson's power side. As he goes towards his left, he runs into the big right hand of Dan Henderson, and that's what his coach didn't want. That's all! He's down! And it is all over! Dan Henderson has knocked out Michael Bisping! And that's what he had to worry about, Mike. We just said it. He was circling towards that direction. He ran right into the big right hand of Dan Henderson, and he is still out cold.
Bisping knocked out for the first time in his career. Henderson,
wow,
wins here tonight.
Let me tell you something, don't ever sleep on Dan Henderson. People think just because he's 38 years old, he's done. Dan Henderson is an animal. Michael Bisping is still unconscious. That is a huge, huge victory for Dan Henderson. Bisping circles right into the big right hand. Out cold, and here's another one just for good measure. And that one stiffened up his toes. Hey, you see it again? He's out cold already. Henderson's on top of him. Bam! He's still out cold, Mike. Here we go again in slow motion. Boom! Separates him from his senses, and this right here is revenge. That last right hand was ruthless.
Joe, Bisping had never been finished or knocked out until tonight.
And Bisping right now is sitting up and he's asking what happened. He has no idea what happened.
This crowd on its feet, celebrating the Americans' victory over the Brit here tonight. Bisping. Bisping's fine, and what a class act he is. Here's Bruce Buffer with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mario Yamasaki has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 20 seconds of round number 2, declaring the winner by knockout, Dan Henderson!
You wanted to shut him up. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, I believe I accomplished that for a little while. I don't know if it'll ever shut his mouth completely, though.
Were you surprised that he kept circling towards your right hand, and were you timing him because of that?
No, that's what he does in every fight. After watching him, he tends to circle off to my right hand, and I didn't think that'd be a smart thing to do against me.
Well, it obviously wasn't. Let's take a look at the big screen, and here is the knockout. You see, as he circles, you catch him on the button. Did you know he was out before you landed this one?
Normally, I'm not that way in fights. I know if the guy's out, I tend to stop. I knew I hit him out, and I think that one was just to shut him up a little bit.
Congratulations. We look forward to seeing you again. Dan Henderson, ladies and gentlemen.
The proud American, the two-time Olympian, and future Hall of Famer, Dan Henderson. And there he is, the original UFC Hall of Famer, the greatest of the early days. From UFC 1, the winner then, the legendary Royce Gracie, here tonight